Abba's gave me a word to start sharing some short testimonies with you guys. So the first one is to deal with a bicycle accident. So one day after church, as I started to develop and get closer to Abba and get deeper into the Word, I started to see, or I guess have this imagination or this thought of a guy falling off of his bicycle. And throughout the day, I just kept seeing it over and over again. And I wasn't for sure what was going on. To my wife, who at this point, who was on a deeper walk with Abba, and I asked her, honey, I keep on having this weird thought about a guy falling off of his bike. She said to me, honey, you probably need to ask God. He's probably trying to show you something. Usually when you see something like that, it usually means something. I told Abba, I was like, I see what you're showing me. I keep on seeing a guy riding a bike down the road, his front wheel stopping, and him heading head first into the ground. Don't know what it means, but I see it. So I go to work 3 days later, 3 whole days later. Sorry, my fingers are blue. 3 days later, and I'm at a stop sign, and I'm just waiting for the light to turn green. When all of a sudden, right in front of me, a guy riding a bike, his front wheel gets caught, and he falls on his face, for like I'd been seeing for 3 days straight. And now it's just like this. So I hear Abba speak to me right away, and he says, this is why I showed you. Go to him right now. So I pull my truck across the road, and I stop. I pull out, and this guy has cracked his head. There is a big giant puddle of concrete. Big pile of blood. Big pile of concrete. A big pile of blood besides this guy's head. And my first instinct is to call 911. But then Abba spoke to me, and he said, don't call an ambulance. You pray for him. And in my head, I'm like, but we're so far away. We're in the middle of a busy city, and it would take 30 minutes for an ambulance to get there. But he said, no, you start praying right now. So I did. I started praying for him. I let him know I was there for him. I started praying for him. He was out of it, didn't know what was going on. And as I'm praying for this young man, other people started to pull in to see what was going on. I could hear him talking like, oh, did the car hit him? They don't know what's going on. So they just start to pull out their phones and call 911. But as they're trying to pull out their phones, I get done praying for him. And before they can even call 911, a miracle happens. Stopping and getting up, an off-duty ambulance pulls up. And he's like, did someone call this in? And everyone's on their phones like, that's what we were trying to do. And I stayed there with him, just making sure he was okay. But it was amazing. If I wasn't there to pray in that exact moment of being obedient to Abba, that could have ended a lot worse. So next time you see something you don't understand, pray to Abba. Ask him, what are you trying to show me? What does this mean? And he will guide you, and he will show you. And when the right moment comes, he'll say, it's time for you to go. That's why I showed you. But thank you guys for listening to my testimony. This will be the first of many. And yes, you all have a blessed day, and thank Abba. Have a good one.